Hey everyone, so the Rokoko Perfect Loop Animation Challenge has started, and we thought we'd make a very quick kind of getting started video. One of the requirements for participating in the challenge is that you have to use Rokoko motion capture, and for a lot of people, the only way they will have ever used motion capture is maybe through Mixamo. So in this video, we're going to go through and show the very basic workflow for where to get motion capture that will allow you to participate in this challenge, and then also how to quickly retarget that motion capture onto a simple character in Blender, Cinema4D, and in Maya. So we're going to run through those workflows, and we'll also put links to bigger tutorials on our channel in the description below for each of those programs. So check those if you need more help, or join the Rokoko Discord, which is a great place that you can ask questions. You know, we have a whole section dedicated to the contest if you have questions about the contest, and great community of people who will always be willing to help you out. So before we get too far, for those of you who might not know, this is our landing page for the Perfect Loop Animation Challenge. It basically runs from May 13th until June 13th. We have all of these amazing judges that are going to be helping out with the judging. And most importantly, there's over $23,000 in various prizes. We have 2 different prize categories with 6 total prizes. First place being a full mocap performance capture bundle plus $2,500 in cash in both best original concept and best render. So amazing prizes, amazing judges. You have another month to complete it. But as I said, the main requirement is that you use Rokoko motion capture in your animation submission. So if you have Rokoko motion capture hardware like a Smart Suit Pro, you might use that, and I'm going to assume you probably know how to get your motion capture onto a character. If you do not have Rokoko motion capture hardware, which we're assuming a lot of the participants are not going to, where do you get your motion capture, right? What motion capture can you use that will qualify you for this animation challenge? You have to use something that's tied into the Rokoko ecosystem. So one place that you can find motion capture that will qualify is in the Rokoko Motion Library, which is Rokoko's motion capture marketplace. And you can find it, you can access it for free. You just need to download Rokoko Studio, which is this program right here from our website, rokoko.com. And once you download Rokoko Studio, basically you open it up, and right here there's this ML button. And if we click that, here is the Rokoko Motion Library. So, you know, we have thousands of assets, and you can purchase assets, but we also have a bunch of free ones, right? So you don't need to pay any money to participate in this animation challenge. It can all be done for free. If you sort by price here, as I just did, you know, you get all these free animations that you can use for your submission. So a couple that I really like that are useful are just like a running one, or you know, here's a front flip. Also an amazing like dance here from Moro Motion, the publisher Moro Motion. Tons of mocap on this marketplace that you can use for your submission, and we're going to download one of these assets for free and use it in all of the retargeting demos we're about to do. But this is one place where you can find mocap for your submission. The other place that you can find some free Rokoko mocap is from the office hours live streams. Here's all the free mocap, you know, it's in these .zip files, and we'll have links to find this Google Drive folder in the description below as well if you want to use some of this free mocap. So for the demo that we're about to do, however, we're going to use Rokoko mocap from the Motion Library. So again, you can download Rokoko Studio, our free software, from rokoko.com. Once you've downloaded and opened it up, you'll have this project page, but we don't want to go there. We want to go to this ML button, and I'm going to go find, so if you sort by price, you can get free ones, or you can purchase actual assets from the store if you want to use a fancier asset. But here's one that I haven't ever downloaded before. So I've already downloaded these. That's why we have this little icon, import into project. But let's say I've never downloaded one. Let's say I want to grab this one. It's $0. So we can add it to our cart, but then you can check out immediately without putting in any payment information. So if you want to pay for an asset, then you can put in your payment information and buy the asset, but you can use one of these free ones just by adding it to your cart, clicking checkout, and then it's not going to actually need any payment information, right? As soon as I do that, now it's changed to import. So if I go to import, I do need to import it into a project in Rokoko Studio. So if you don't have any projects, you would just go create a new project, call this motion library. It'll be empty, but then you would go back into your motion library, right? Import, and let's say we want to put it into that motion library project we just made. I have a lot of them. There we go. And yeah, there we go. You can see that it downloaded. So then if you go to open import folder, here we go. This is where it just downloaded this mocap FBX. So now we have our mocap, but how do we get this mocap onto a character? So for this, we're just going to use a Mixamo character, because a lot of people might be using Mixamo characters. It's really versatile. So we're just going to go find one on the characters list on Mixamo. I like to just use the dummy, who's really simple, the mannequin here. If you uploaded, a mesh or something and you did the auto rigger on Mixamo, this whole workflow would work with that as well. We're just going to use this character because it's here. So you could use any of these characters, right? So after I have my character selected, I'm just going to go and actually search for T-pose, because you need your character to be in a T-pose to retarget it. Click it, even though it was already in one. That kind of makes sure that what we're downloading is going to be this mannequin in a T-pose. It's in a T-pose, download. There we go. So we are just going to put this mannequin on our desktop. We're going to call it mannequin T-pose. Boom. And this is the character we're going to be putting that mocap, this thinking man standing and thinking pose mocap. We're going to put it onto that T-posed character. So we're going to start with Blender, but we're going to do Blender, Cinema4D, and Maya. And before we get started, I just want to quickly mention what retargeting is, right? We're going to retarget this motion capture data onto our mannequin character, right? And so what is retargeting? Retargeting just means I'm taking mocap data, which is just rotational data, basically on the bones of your mocap animation, and you're transferring that to your character bones, right? And so there's a couple different ways to do that depending on the programs that you're using. In Blender, you can use Auto Rig Pro has a retargeter. Rokoko, we also make we have a plugin for Blender where you can do retargeting. That's what I'm going to be using. And we'll have a link to a bigger tutorial for that in the description below. But let's go through that process really quickly. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to import our mannequin character that we downloaded right here on my desktop. I'm always going to check automatic bone orientation whenever I'm importing things into Blender. There we go. We have our mannequin. I am just going to delete these two keyframes because I don't want to have them on our character. And now I'm just going to go and import that mocap that we downloaded. And remember, I have it right here. I'm just going to copy this path. You can always find your mocap that you've downloaded. So I'm back in Rokoko Studio. If I were to go to that project motion library that I made, here I can just, here's my mocap. I can go to open folder. So we'll show the mocap. So I'm going to copy that path, go back to Blender, paste it. Here's our mocap, right? I'm going to grab it. Same thing. Make sure that automatic bone orientation is on. Import FBX. Now I'm just going to move my Mixamo character over a little bit so we can see what's happening. And if I play through, here's our mocap, right? So how do I get this mocap onto my character so that I can submit something for the perfect loop? So I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to my Rokoko plugin. I just need to sign in. Just make a Rokoko ID to do that. So here we are. Now I'm up and running. And if we go to this retargeting panel, what I can do is for the source, I want to import, put in reference, right? Reference, which is our motion capture. So I could, just pick whip over to reference. And for target refers to our character. So, click our character, armature, right? And then I'm going to go to build bone list. So this is going to build a list of both characters' bones, essentially. So on the left here, you have, this is the mocap skeleton bones. And then on the right, you have our character's skeleton right here. And so I just want to go through and make sure the shoulders and the arms in particular are correct. So again, left arm matches left arm, right? Left forearm matches left forearm. Usually from a Mixamo character, this will work just fine, but if you have any issues after you've done your retargeting, sometimes it's because the wrong bones were assigned right in this list right here. So this all looks fine though. So I'm just going to click current. I'm gonna leave auto scale checked on, and I'm gonna hit retarget animation. And that should kind of be it. Boom. Now we have our mocap onto our character. And what it's actually done is copied all the keyframes over to our character. So we could delete our mocap, and our character is still gonna have motion capture applied to it. So that is just one way in Blender to do retargeting. Again, feel free to check out our Blender tutorials, which are in the description below, for more information on how to do like mocap editing. Say you want to edit this, this guy looks a little funky right off the bat. But if we wanted to fix these thumbs, we wanted to make it so that there's no clipping on our character, we could do just some simple editing of this mocap. And again, we have a tutorial in the description below for that. And yeah, feel free to hit up the Rokoko Discord for more questions about Blender. Okay, let's move to Cinema4D and show you the process in there. Okay, we're in Cinema4D, but I just want to grab another animation because that one is kind of boring. So let's go find another one. For example, this idle combat relaxed. This could be simple for a character in the background or something. So I can double click it, import into my motion library project. It should import, yep, there we go. You kind of saw it download right there. And now it's gonna be, we've added another mocap animation into our project folder right here. So I'm in Cinema4D. This is R23, but this principle should work across basically any version of Cinema that you're in. I think above R21 when they added the character definition tag. So what are we gonna do? First thing we're gonna do, I'm just gonna go to, File, Merge Objects, go open up our mannequin T-pose that we got from Mixamo. Add it to my scene. I'm not going to reassign the takes. Here we go. Again, I kind of want to just delete these keyframes, so I'm going to select children here, hold down shift and drag out on the timeline here, right click, delete. Just don't want keyframes on my character. So here's my character. We also need our mocap, right? So I still have it in my paste memory, so I can just paste it up there. But again, that is what this is the folder we are downloading this mocap to, right? And we have this idle combat relaxed. So let's open that up. So if I move my Mixamo character over, here we have our combat idle. So how do we get this mocap onto our character here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add character definition tags to both my character and to my mocap. So you can find those by right clicking on your character, your Mixamo character skeleton here on the hips. I'm going to add under rigging tags, character definition. And again, we have a tutorial for this in the description below that goes into it in more detail. But essentially, once I've added this tag, I'll go to Open Manager. And because we downloaded this character from Mixamo, if we just hit Extract Skeleton, this character definition tag is basically going to fill itself out. And what it's just doing is it's going through, and you can see all these different bones in the tag, left arm, right? If we go to clavicle, it went through and it automatically picked out the left shoulder for us. If for some reason, you know, you aren't using a Mixamo skeleton or Mixamo character, you might have a unique skeleton that doesn't work when you hit Extract Skeleton. You would just go through and you would manually select and add in these different bones into this character definition tag. But because we downloaded this character from Mixamo, it does it automatically. Boom, boom, boom. You can see everything is like filled out, right? Where we click on thumb, it's got all the thumb bones already filled out. Boom, that's done. We're gonna do the same thing for our mocap. Select the hips, right click, rigging tags, character definition, select that tag, open manager, and I believe mocap animations downloaded from the motion library also extract. We'll hit Extract Skeleton. Yeah, looks like it did it automatically. There are no fingers in our mocap that we downloaded, so it's not gonna record any, but everything else is, you know, left arm, clavicle, left shoulder. So it's done it all for us. So once we've done both these character definition tags, I'm gonna select my character, you know, my Mixamo character, character definition tag, which gets confusing, but this one, right? And I'm going to create solver. And this essentially allows me to load in a source character, so our mocap for instance, and then my Mixamo character is going to have the mocap on it. And there we go. We got mocap on our character. So this, unlike Blender, this is not copying those keyframes to our character, right? It is referencing, you know, using this solver, it's referencing what's happening on this character. So if we wanted to bake these keyframes to our character, one thing we could do is we could go up to window, window, I think dope sheet, right? Let's see. Yep, window dope sheet. And I would select my entire character's skeleton. So I could click on my hips, select children. This is gonna select all these bones in my character skeleton. And then if we go to, where is it? Frame, function, bake objects. And I'm gonna unclick create copy. I just want to bake it for the timeline, right here. I don't want to clean tracks. Now you can see, boom, we got a bunch of keyframes on our skeleton. So now that skeleton is actually keyed with these animations, and we could totally get rid of our mocap. We don't need it anymore because it's not referencing. These tags aren't doing anything anymore. It's just keyframes on our actual skeleton. So there you go. And then you could do another character or something. And now we have someone who's just in the background. And if you wanted to make this looping, one easy way to do that is I can select my skeleton, go up to animate, add motion clip, uncheck remove included animation, hit OK. And now we would like, probably if you right click on here, you can cut / connect. So we can cut. This is basically a, you know, this represents all the animation on this character. We can delete this segment with the T pose, you know, back this up. So at frame 0, it's just in the pose. And then we could, you can see if you click this, you can just add loops, right? 5 loops. And it'll just loop 5 times. And there you go. Some simple tips and tricks, you know, for getting your mocap onto your character in Cinema 4D without using any other programs, right? And you've got Rokoko Mocap on a Mixamo character. So finally, let's jump into Maya and go over that workflow, which is one of the more robust ones. So we'll open up Maya. And again, we have links to our Maya tutorials in the description below, so check those out. Here we are in Maya 2022. I'm just gonna go and I'm going to import my T-pose character, mannequin T-pose, import it. It's coming in quite large, so I'm actually going to create a new project, go back to import my mannequin. If I have this set to FBX, this is an FBX animation file, or character file from Mixamo, right? I can, if we set it to FBX import, I can actually change the scale that it's brought in at and specify that I want it to be a little bit smaller. So here we go. Here's our character. It's a better scale. Let's import our mocap. Still in my paste memory from before. Again, this is just the mocap that we downloaded, right? Which you can always find by going to the project you downloaded it in, right-clicking, open folder. Here's that mocap we downloaded, right? So that's what I'm pulling in. I'm gonna pull in this idle import. And so if we play, right, here's our mocap playing right here. And what we need to do in order to retarget the mocap in Maya is, and I'm just going to select all these hips and get rid of these keyframes at the very beginning. I just don't like having keyframes on my skeleton here. Just want to move this character over so we can see the mocap and our character. But what we need to do is create a character definition in the Human IK panel for both our character and for our mocap, right? And that's pretty easy to do. What we're gonna do is click on this little panel up here. Again, follow the tutorial we have on our YouTube if you want more information, but click on the Human IK panel. We're gonna create character definition, new. Then I'm going to, this is my Mixamo character, and I'm basically going to select, starting at the hips, we have this map of a body here. And if we have the hip selected and then we right click on the hips on the map, we can assign selected bone. And then if I, go down on the arrow key, I can go to the spine, assign selected bone. If we click in for the rest of the spine bones, go down, assign. Now we need to do the neck. So here's the neck, little triangle, we click in, here's the neck bone. Make sure we've actually gone down. Assign, we want to do the head. And you just go through and you quickly assign all these things. Again, our mocap doesn't have fingers, so I'm not going to go in and actually do the fingers, but we have fingers on our Mixamo skeleton, as you can see right here. We don't need to do it. You'll also notice that because this mirror matching is on, I just did the left arm and it automatically filled out the right arm, which is really nice. So now I just need to go to the left leg or the right leg, go through this process, and I'm kind of blocking there what was happening, but I was just selecting the leg and here and going down and assigning them to the bone. So that's our Mixamo character. We could rename this mannequin, right? And then if we go to none, create a new character definition, and we're going to go and define our mocap. So right here's our mocap skeleton, same thing, hips, assign, right up leg, there we go, and you can see it to the left. Go through and just, I'm right clicking and assigning this stuff. Then for the spine, assign 1, 2, 3 spine bones. do the left shoulder, you know, left arm, left hand. You can see what I'm doing there. And then just the neck you need to grab. Boom. And the head. And then we get a green, right? Green check mark. And for this, to do retargeting both of these characters, you know, your mocap and your character both have to be in a T pose on frame 0. That's how they both need to start from the same pose. So now to retarget this mocap onto this character, what you would do is you would go and select that mannequin as your character in the top here. And then under source, character 1 was what I did the mocap character definition onto. There we go. And look, we got our mocap onto our character, onto our Mixamo character. So if we want to do some edits to mocap in Maya, it's super simple. We're just going to go up here, go to bake to control rig. This is going to bake that animation to the to a control rig of our character. And at this point I can delete the mocap because it's all been, again, baked to our character. Something funky is going on here. It's gonna delete that. And now we have this IK control rig that we can do edits to this mocap on, right? And the way that we would do that, and again, we have a tutorial for this in the description below, but just to show you how you would do it, if I say wanted to, well, let's say I actually wanted to maybe have the head pointed this way for the idol. If we just do it right here, you can see that this head is keyframed on this whole timeline. So we can't add keyframes to the head or make changes over other keyframes. What we need to do is we go to the layer editor here. We go to the anim tab. If we add this head controller right here to a new create layer from selected, a new animation layer, you can see all the keyframes are now gone. So we have our mocap on this layer, and then up above it, we can make changes to the bones. So if we say wanted to have them be looking this way, again, if you just moved the head and then it's gonna snap back, we need to move the head, and then I'm just gonna hit S, and it creates a keyframe on the timeline, and now our head, you know, our character is looking this way. And we can always animate the head over time, add another keyframe, and again, it's not messing with that mocap that's already there. Right? There we go. We have edited mocap. So that is 3 different ways to retarget Rokoko motion capture from the motion library to your character that you can get from Mixamo, or from another to another character that has another custom skeleton. Again, we have tutorials for all of these workflows in the description below. And you can also use that mocap from our live streams. It's going to be the exact same process because it's going to also give you mocap that starts in a T-pose. And so you can use these workflows for any mocap that starts in a T-pose, like Rokoko Mocap does. Hopefully we found this. I hope that this was useful. Again, this is just, you know, a little primer to get started. If you have never used mocap, you've never done mocap retargeting, and you want to get involved in the Perfect Loop Animation Challenge with a ton of prizes and awesome stuff. So stay tuned all month. We're going to be doing lots more Perfect Loop-esque animation challenge focused, you know, live streams every Thursday. Come join. And also, if you have questions, go to the Rokoko Discord and you can ask them there, and somebody in the community or one of us will jump in and try and help you out. So again, hopefully this was useful. See you on the stream. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.